The rental application process. This is your most reliable way to screen potential tenants in any state, and that's no different for landlords and property managers in Florida. It allows you to evaluate crucial information about the applicant to gauge their suitability for the rental property. Today we'll be covering everything from the rental application fee in Florida to the restrictions that the Federal Fair Housing Act imposes. So let's dive in. Welcome back, Loopers. It's Mohammed Abu Ghosh, content creator here at DoorLoop. Under Florida law, there are no restrictions on rental application fees. This means landlords can charge any amount that they deem fit for their Florida rental application. However, it's a good practice not to charge more than an average out-of-pocket expense. It's also important to remember that while there are no state-imposed limits on security deposits, some cities or counties may impose their own restrictions on security deposit amounts. To effectively screen prospective tenants, landlords can request the following information. First, let's talk about credit checks or reports. With written consent from the tenant, landlords can request a credit check or report. Now, a credit check often includes a pass-fail report, while a credit report provides more comprehensive information like employment and income details. Now, eviction checks are part of a rental application that reveals the applicant's history of evictions, judgments against them, or eviction filings over the past 7 years. Another valuable tool at your disposal is the criminal history check. This report shows the landlord any state court criminal records associated with the tenant. And when you're going to sign a contract with someone, this is something that you want to know about. Now, as powerful as these checks can be, you do need written consent before you proceed. The Federal Credit Reporting Act requires tenants to provide written consent for landlords to perform credit background checks. This consent can be integrated in the rental application form itself or given through a separate statement. However, there are background checks where you don't need to ask for consent, and those are checks involving evictions or criminal acts. Next up, the Federal Fair Housing Act restricts landlords from discriminating against protected groups based on color, nationality or national origin, race, religion, familial status, sex, and physical or mental disabilities. In fact, it's illegal to even ask questions related to these factors. However, some exemptions can be made, and these are for religious organizations, age-specific communities like senior housing, owner-occupied dwellings in the case of Mrs. Murphy's exemption, and private clubs. Landlords in Florida can also check potential tenants' eviction records in Florida's public records or use a screening program. This manual process involves searching the Florida Supreme Court docket for the tenant's documents. Now, if there's a specific county where the tenant's previous rentals were located, it can be specified to narrow down the search. Another thing to keep in mind here is adverse action notices. Landlords must provide an adverse action notice to the tenant if they plan on taking adverse action. This can include things such as asking for a higher rental amount, requiring a cosigner, increasing the security deposit, or rejecting the tenant based on their consumer report. Now, remember that the notice should include information about why the landlord didn't take the adverse action themselves, the consumer reporting agency, and a copy of everything in the report. And of course, keep in mind that the applicant can dispute the notice within 60 days. Now, if creating a Florida rental application process seems too daunting, don't worry, DoorLoop is here to help. With DoorLoop, you can get e-signatures done in just a few clicks, allowing your tenants to sign Florida rental applications online. DoorLoop also offers templates that are reusable and auto-filled with each tenant's information, making the lease creation process signing much quicker. Furthermore, DoorLoop integrates with the top listing sites like Zillow, Trulia, HotPads, and Apartments.com, letting you attract tenants on autopilot. You can also make sure you're bringing in the most reliable tenants by screening your prospects in seconds through an integration with TransUnion. Now, if DoorLoop sounds like the right fit for you, then you can schedule a free demo at the link down below. As you can see, the process surrounding the rental application in Florida isn't overly restrictive, especially regarding application fees or security deposits. But if you need some assistance here, feel free to download our template at the link down below as well. Now, to wrap this video up, let's get to some frequently asked questions. But before we do, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you learned something so far, so we can get this information out to more real estate professionals just like you. How much is a rental application fee in Florida? Typically, most landlords charge about $30 per applicant, although there's no legal limit for these fees. What credit score is needed to rent a house in Florida? This depends on the market and the landlord. Some require a minimum score of 650, whereas applicants with combined household income may need a minimum score of 590. What are a tenant's requirements to rent in Florida? Put simply, the tenant needs the following: proof of income, credit history, criminal records, and eviction history. We hope you learned something with us today. Check out this video for more property management related content. We'll see you soon.